Welcome back to Tyrants on the Field. This is a good one, folks. We are going to be diving into the magical month of May, the month that was, taking a look at some statistics in the month of May, specifically looking from April 30th, 2025 to June 2nd, 2025. At all the rated events in North America that were singles events with 10 players or more. And if you were wondering what that consists of, that is 14 separate events, 351 individual games. And I want to take a look at some winning percentages of factions, get into the nitty gritty, and talk through it a little bit. Now, again, we're dealing with a very limited sample size intentionally. Again, just 351 games. No faction had more than 100 games played. In fact, we top out at 98 games, with Crix taking that distinction. Most of the other factions that are Mark IV had between 47 and 98 games played, with most being above 40, or with most being above 47. Gravediggers had 47 games played. House Callus had 48. Wintercore had 96. Storm Legion had 69. Shadowflame Shard had 86. Sea Raiders, or Orgoth Sea Raiders, had 62, and Necrofectorum had 98. So let's take a peek behind the curtain into the meta breakdown, and let's talk about it. All right, so looking at the top six, win percentage-wise, we have all but one faction having less than 10 games played. The one faction being the sixth faction, which is Infernals with 21 games played, 67% win rate in the month of May for North America. Again, at rated events with over 10 players. For a 67% win rate, again, we see Omodamos with 6 plays, 5 up, 1 down, 83% win rate. Zadaroff, 10 plays, 7 up, 3 down, 70% win rate. Agathon, 4 plays, 1 up, 3 down, 25% win rate for Ags in the month of May in North America. Necrofactorium, 98 games played, 60 wins, 34 losses, 63% win rate, 4 draws for those counting at home. Avisrus was 13 of those plays, 10 and 3, 77% win rate, tops the chart. Kythos with the most plays for any individual Crixcaster, 34 plays, 24 up, 9 down, 1 draw, 72% win rate. Mortnabra, 5 plays, 3 up, 2 down, 60% win rate. Nikane, 2 games, 1 up, 1 down, 50% win rate. Sipsira, 13 games played, 6 up, 7 down, 46% win rate. And our guy, Decathus, 10 plays, 3 up, 5 down, 2 draws, 40% win rate. So Necrofactorium is very interesting. It's very much being shaped by Kythos, which again, for those living under a rock, is the newest caster in Crix outside of Mortnabra. He is the one that was available initially in the War Machine 3D print welcome package, and is a defensive feat that literally skews defense +3, provided you are attacking something while you are within his 16-inch control range. So a variant of the very popular Zadaroff feat, with some slight tweaking and variants. It is a list that is becoming just a fixture in Crix pairings, and we're seeing that sort of solidify in May as folks are getting a bigger hang of him. He's definitely going to be part of your Crix pairings going forward. Seems pretty evident there. Onward to the Sea Raiders, 62 games played, 36 up, 25 down, 1 draw, 59% win rate. Yet again, Harusk is carrying the faction, 38 plays, 28 up, 10 down, 74% win rate. Kishtar, 3 games, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. Sabrath, 8 games played, 2 up, 5 down, 1 draw, 31% win rate. 2 games for Oriax, 0-2, 0% win rate. And 1 game for Butcher, 0-1, 0% win rate in the recorded annals here. So really, it's Harusk's faction. We're just living in it. And that is where we're sort of seated. That gives them the 8th best overall winning percentage. Jumping down to number 12, we have Shadowflame Shard. Shadowflame Shard, 86 games played, 48 wins, 37 losses, 1 draw, 56% win rate. Shyrus is still the queen of the faction. Shyrus, 28 games played, 14 up, 14 down, 50% win rate. Rassic, 2 games, 1 up, 1 down, 50% win rate. Kyrax, 14 games, 10 up, 4 down, 71% win rate. Valix, 4 games, 3-1, 75% win rate. And then Nixian, 13 games played, 4 up, 9 down, 31% win rate. Nixian came out of the chute pretty hot at the beginning of this cycle. It seems that folks are starting to adjust to her, adjusting to Cloud Walls and all of her spell nonsense. So, interesting bit there in Shadowflame Shard as we sort of see a regression to the mean of Shyrus and Kyrex, and Nixian starting to get pulled back a little bit, at least in this initial sample size for the May timeframe. We'll see if that holds true as we jump into June, or we look at June when the June numbers come in. Storm Legion, 13th place, 69 games played, 38 up, 31 down, 55% win rate. Sparky, good old Sparkhammer, 1 game played, 100% win rate. Athena Dabara, 1 game played, 100% win rate. Good for them. Kane 4, people are still using Kane in Storm Legion. 12 games played, 7 up, 5 down, 58% win rate. Calder, 13 games played, 7 up, 6 down, 54% win rate. Huxley, 23 games played, 11 up, 12 down, 48% win rate. And good old Wolf, nothing beats Wolf. 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. Honorable mention to Final Interdiction Menoff, 24 games played, 11 up, 12 down, 1 draw, 48% win rate. Again, Krios 2 really just holding the faction together. 12 games attributed, 6 up, 6 down, 50% win rate. Brine Bloods, 15th overall in winning percentage, 47% win rate, 45 up, 21 down, 21 up, 24 down, 47% win rate. Breaking down into the numbers, Shadow Tongue, 6 games played, 4 up, 2 down, 67% win rate, best winning percentage for Brines, but under 10 games played. Ragemonger, 9 games played, 5 up, 4 down, 56% win rate. Foul Blood, 11 games played, 6 up, 5 down, 55% win rate. Firequill, 2 games played, 0-2, and good old Thorga Boomhowler, 3 games played, 0-3. And again, for context, these are all North American rated games in single events that had 10 or more players. Dark Operations starting to get a little bit of momentum, 16th overall, 9 games played, 4 up, 5 down, 44% win rate, good for 16th overall. Thexus and Siphon being the 2 casters recorded. Winter Core, onward to Winter Core, 96 games played, 40 up, 56 down, 52% win rate. Winter core, winter core, winter core. What are we going to do with you? The pair that people keep trying to make work is Velcool. 22 games played, 13 wins, 9 losses, 59% win rate. Best in faction in terms of win rate for Velcool. Savarin, 21 games played, 10 up, 11 down, 48% win rate. Borashek, 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. Sakura, 9 games played, 3 up, 6 down, 33% win rate. Baronova, 25 games played, most individual games played by a caster in Khador, 7 wins, 18 losses, 28% win rate. And Yana, people still trying to make Yana work. 1 game played, 1 loss. Our brothers, the Dusk House Khaled, 48 games played, 19 wins, 28 losses, 1 draw, 41% win percentage. Tyrants, 3 games played, 3 wins, 100% win rate. Hazaroth, 1 game played, 1 win, 100% win rate. Heleth, 12 games played, 7 up, 5 down, 58% win rate. Moraine, 11 games played, 4 and 7, 36% win rate. Something is fundamentally going on with Moraine. I think folks have figured out how to play into a mortality caster again, and it's showing. They are gearing their lists around it. There has been more anti-spell things added into the meta for the factions that do not have it, and Moraine is definitely being affected from a win rate percentage. Seraphel, 6 games played, 0 and 6. And then on to Gravediggers, number 19 overall, 37% win rate, 47 games played, only 1 game played less than Dusk, 17 up, 29 down, 1 draw. Sin, 2 games played, 1 up, 1 down, 50% win rate. Vargas, most played caster in the faction, very unsurprisingly, 25 games attributed, 9 up, 15 down, 1 draw, 38% win rate. Jake's, 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. Kane, 2 games played, 0 and 2, 0% win rate. And Hasker, 1 game played, and it was a loss. Good for 19th overall. And again, the rest of the data is pretty teeny tiny. One interesting bit is in the 341 games played, priority was 50-50, meaning 50% of the games were won by player 1 and 50% of the games were won by player 2. All of these games occurred at 100 point size. 180 of these games were decided by scenario. 102 of these games were decided by caster kill. 44 games were decided by death clock. Wolves at Our Heels was the most played scenario, 99 times. Next most played scenario was Best Laid Plans at 68 times. Paid Load was the third most played scenario at 59 times. Two Fronts at 55 times. Color Guard at 49 times. And Trench Warfare at 20 times. Folks do not like Trench Warfare for whatever reason, and I'm intrigued because it is actually one that I really enjoy, this packet. So what does it all mean? Again, very small sample size, but again, looking at all of the factions, all of the Mark IV factions are definitely receiving the most play and are powering the bulk of the data. There's really 2 kind of groups in terms of the winning percentage, which is, again, when you bring together Storm Legion, Shadowflame Shard, and Orgoth, you have a tight grouping between 60 and 55% win rates. You have an outlier with Necrofactorum. Necrofactorum is sitting around the 63% win rate. And then you drop down into Trolls, and Trolls are less than a 50% win rate. You've got then Khador and Shadowflame Shard, or Khador and House Callus, sitting in the 40 to 45% win rate, and then Gravediggers as folks are still figuring out that faction. Definitely lagging a bit behind. I don't think it's for lack of tools. I know there's still some tools that faction needs to have released. But I think it's just an issue of getting the reps in and getting folks shaked out that don't appreciate the playstyle, and those that do, refining that playstyle. Again, remembering early data from Crix's introduction into the meta, it's going to follow, I think, a very similar curve where it was below expectations, and then 3 or 4 months in with all of the gear, you start to see Crix at the top end of the meta. So I think we're going to see the same thing with Gravediggers as we move forward. So let's jump over to the same time frame, same criteria for the European meta. So in Europe, there were 5 events that occurred that meet our conditions. And again, our conditions are occurred between April 30th and June the 2nd. Was a rated event that was a singles event with a player count of 10 or more. So we have 81 games to look at, so our sample size is significantly smaller, but our trending is going to follow very similar patterns outside of a few outliers. So let's take a look at them. So when we look at our games played, the most games played is going to be 24 games by an individual faction, and that falls to Shadowflame Shard. Most of the Mark II factions had at least 10 games played. The only one sub 10 games was Gravediggers at 9 games played. So let's jump into the data. So Necrofactorium was our top performing Mark IV army with 6th overall, a 67% win rate, so very much in line with their American counterparts. 15 games played, 10 up, 5 down. Again, from a leader breakdown standpoint, Kythos, again, leading that faction. 10 games played, 7 up, 3 down, 70% win rate. Nicaine, 1 game played, 1 loss, so no win percentage. And then Sepsira was played the other 4 games, 3 up, 1 down, 75% win rate for Sepsira. The big change out is that instead of Orgoth in the number 2 position for Mark IV armies, win percentage-wise like it is in the States, in Europe, the Brinebloods hold that distinction. 7th overall, 2nd to the Mark IV armies, 18 games played, 11 wins, 7 losses, 61% win rate over these 5 events. Number-wise, Ragemonger 2-0, 100% win rate. Shadowtongue 2-1, 67% win rate. Foulblood 2-1, 67% win rate. Thorga 4 games played, 1 up, 3 down, 25% win rate. So the positioning of the casters is the same. The relative winning percentages a bit off, but again, these are smaller numbers on the European side. But essentially, the ordering of the casters is identical to the American data. So very interesting data points here, particularly that Thorga on both sides of the pond is just struggling into the meta. I think just fundamentally where the game is at right now is not where Thorga wants to be. She is caught in the crosshairs of folks going against def skew. She doesn't bring enough def skew, which is ironic, being she was the initial def skew in this edition. So it's interesting. Storm Legion, again, comes in 3rd place of the Mark IV factions in Europe. 15 games played, 9 up, 6 down. 60% win rate. Pretty incomplete leadership data set here. We'll give you what we have. Again, Huxley, we have 1 game recorded for 100% win rate. Kane, 4, 3 games played, 2 up, 1 down, 67% win rate. Calder, 3. 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. But missing a significant number of games here from a leadership perspective, so not a lot we can work with from a data standpoint on the leaders between the 2 sides of the pond. Jumping over to Shadowflame Shard, 54% win rate, 24 games played, 13 up, 11 down. Kyrax, 1 win, or 1 game played for 1 win, 100% win rate. Rassic, 3 games played, 2 up, 1 down, 67% win rate. Shirus, 7 games played, 4 up, 3 down, 57% win rate. Lilith, 2 games played, 1 and 1, 50% win rate. And then Valix, 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. No Nixian going on the other side of the pond, at least in the month of May. Dark Operations also seeing a little bit of a resurgence over on the other side of the pond as well. 6 games played, 3 up, 3 down, 50% win rate. Thexus, 5 of those games for Thexus, 3 and 2, 60% win rate, with Asphyxius playing 1 game and losing it, bringing down the faction. Shadows of Retribution getting a little bit of play as well. 6 games played, 3 up, 3 down, with all of those games being played by Thyron, or 4 of those games being played by Thyron, 2 up, 2 down, for a 50% win rate. The other 2 games, we don't know who they played. Sea Raiders, Orgoth Sea Raiders, 11 games played, 36% win rate in these events in Europe, 4 and 7. Butcher with 3 games played, 2 up, 1 down, 67% win rate. Hurrus going 0 and 3. Just seems like somebody had a bad day. Yeah, Orgoth had a bit of a harder time. Again, we have 5 casters unrecorded over the course of those games. 13th overall, 33% win rate. Winter Core, 15 games played, 5 up, 10 down. Winter Core struggles are real on both sides of the pond. Borishek, 1 game played, 100% win rate. Velcool, 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. Yana, 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. Baronova, 0 and 1, 0% win rate. And Savrin, 0 and 2, 0% win rate. Winter Core struggling quite a bit on this side of the pond, both in win rate and win percentage. And then Gravediggers, 9 games played, 3 and 9, 33% win rate. Kane with 7 of the games recorded, 3 and 4, 43% win rate. And then jumping down to 17th place with 15% win rate overall, 13 games played, 2 and 11, Dusk House Callus. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, and oh, how they are not recording their casters. 1 game for Hazaroth, 0 and 1. 2 games for Moraine, 0 and 2. 1 game for Tyrus, 0 and 1. House Callus struggling mightily in the European events that took place in May, with 10 players or more rated singles events. In Europe, first player is winning a majority of their games. Again, in the 76 games recorded, 58% win rate for first player. Second player, 42% win rate. In the American meta, with 181 games recorded, we saw a pure 50-50 split. So interesting bit of data there. In the scenario standpoint, Wolves at Our Heels, popular, the most popular on both sides of the Atlantic. 22 games played, which is the most played scenario. Payload, number 2 best played scenario at 17 games, followed by Trench Warfare with 15 games, then Best Laid Plans at 14, and then Color Guard at 13. No games of 2 fronts played in Europe in May in events with 10 players or more. In terms of winning percentages, scenario, 42 of the games were won by scenario, 24 of the games were won by caster kill, and 12 of the games were won by death clock. So interesting data points here. Again, we definitely see a haves and a haves not. We see a very stark decline in Dusk in Europe, comparatively to the United States and the Americas as a whole. So let's go ahead and aggregate everything together now that we've looked at it separately. So we are going to look at all metas with this same criteria between 430, 25 and 62, 25. All rated events, singles with 10 players or more during that time frame. So that gives us a total of 27 events, 551 games played across the board. And again, we see some slight shifts with the numbers, but holistically, our trends continue. So let's talk through that now. Again, Necrofactorium with an over 60% win rate, 61% win rate, 138 games played in total, 82 wins, 52 losses. Leader-wise, Kythos leading the way, 55 games played, 36 up, 18 down, 1 draw, 66% win rate. Aviserus comes into the mix again with his 13 wins, or his 13 games, 10 wins, 3 losses, 77% win rate to take top percentage, but not top played. Subsira, 21 games, 13 and 8, 62% win rate. Morton Abra improves to 9 games played, 5 up, 4 down, 56% win rate. Decathus goes to 11 games played, 3 up, 6 down, 2 draws, 36% win rate. And Decane with 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. Then we go from 6th place for Necrofactorium all the way to 11th place before we get our next Mark IV faction, which is Shadowflame Shard at 57% win rate, 145 games played, 81 up, 62 down, 2 draws. Rassic, 7 games played, 5 up, 2 down, 71% win rate. Kyrax, 26 games played, 18 up, 18 down, 18 up, 8 down, 69% win rate. Valak, 7 games played, 4 up, 3 down, 57% win rate. Lilith, 9 games played in total, 5 up, 4 down, 56% win rate. Shyrus, 44 games played, 23 up, 21 down, 52% win rate. Nixian goes to 19 games played, 7 up, 12 down, 37% win rate. So in looking at the global meta, we definitely see the trend again where most folks are on Shyrus, Kyrax, or Nixian. We see Nixian struggling a little bit in the win percentage in the month of May. We see Shyrus again coming into midpoint, and the high end Kyrax, when he gets the matchups he wants, definitely is taking advantage of the meta as a whole. And Rassic with a sneaky 71% win rate. So I think Rassic is sort of the dark horse to look at in the faction. Valak's also 57% win rate. Again, just 7 games played, but interesting that he has that. Lilith again, also 5 and 4 in this small sample size. So pretty interesting globally in May, where each of the Shadowflame Shards casters is at. Storm Legion, 104 games played in total, 57 up, 47 down, 55% win rate. Good for 12th overall. Again, Debarro, 100% win rate, 1 game played, 1 up, no down. Kane, 4, 19 games played, 13 up, 6 down, 68% win rate. Huxley, 30 games played, 14 up, 16 down, 47% win rate. Calder, 21 games played, 9 up, 12 down, 43% win rate. Wolf, 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. And Sparky, 3 games played, 1 up, 2 down, 33% win rate. Over to Sea Raiders, 13th overall, 53% win rate. 84 games played, 44 up, 39 down, 1 draw. Hurrusk, 45 games played, 31 up, 14 down, 69% win rate. Again, just carrying the faction all over the place. Butcher, 4 games played, 2 up, 2 down, 50% win rate. Then we get to Sabrath, 11 games played, 3 up, 7 down, 1 draw, 32% win rate. Kishtar, 5 games played, 1 up, 4 down, 20% win rate. And Oriax, 2 games played, 0 and 2. Then we get over to Brine Bloods, 91 games played, 16th overall, 43 up, 47 down, 1 draw, 48% win rate. Shadow Tongue with 16 games played, 10 up, 6 down, 63% win rate. Foul Blood, 14 games played, 8 up, 6 down, 57% win rate. Ragemonger, 16 games played, 8 up, 8 down, 50% win rate. Thorga, 13 games played, 4 up, 9 down, 31% win rate. Fire Quill, 2 games played, 0 and 2. And Boggity Baba, 1 game played, 0-1. Then on to Gravediggers, 17th overall, 44% win rate, 79 games played, 34 up, 44 down, 1 draw. Jake's 7 games played, 4 up, 3 down, 57% win rate. Cyan, 2 games played, 1 up, 1 down, 50% win rate. Vargas, 34 games played, 16 up, 17 down, 1 draw, 49% win rate. Kane, 14 games played, 5 up, 9 down, 36% win rate. And then good old Buddy Hasker, 2 games played, 0-2, 0% win rate. Then on to Wintercore, 126 games played overall, 53 up, 73 down, 42% win rate. Velcool, 30 games played, 17 up, 13 down, 57% win rate. Savern, 24 games played, 10 up, 14 down, 42% win rate. Borashek, 5 games played, 2 up, 3 down, 40% win rate. Sakura, 12 games played, 4 up, 8 down, 33% win rate. Baranova, 27 games played, 8 up, 19 down, 30% win rate. And Yana, 4 games played, 1 up, 3 down, 25% win rate. And then on to House Callus, Dusk, 20th position, 41% win rate, 77 games played, 31 up, 45 down, 1 draw. Tyrus, 8 games played, 5 up, 3 down, 63% win rate. Helith, 13 games played, 8 up, 5 down, 62% win rate. Hazaroth, 2 games played, 1 up, 1 down, 50% win rate. Moraine, 22 games played, 9 and 13, 41% win rate. And Serafeld, 7 games played, 1 up, 6 down, 14% win rate. What the hell does it all mean? Well, again, small sample size. We're only looking at a month. We're looking at a month with a fairly limited number of overall events, but significant events. Again, 27 events in total across the entire world, which had 10 players or more, was rated in single events. 551 games is what this data set is based on. And we definitely see some trends. We definitely see trending that Dusk is struggling right now into the meta. Wintercore is struggling right now into the meta. Gravediggers is struggling right now into the meta. Brines are roughly a 50%er. Above the 50% line, you see Sea Raiders, Storm Legion, Shadow Flame Shard, and leading the charge with well over a 55% win rate is Necrofactorium with over a 60% win rate, 61% globally. Necrofactorium very firmly number 1 overall. Shadow Flame Shard in that number 2 spot, and then Storm Legion and the Sea Raiders. So it's interesting. You've got Gravediggers who are not fully complete, but almost complete. But most folks do not have enough reps with the casters to really make large-scale determinations with them yet. I don't think you have any list coalescence in that faction. You've got Brine Bloods who continue to impress and find new ways to just be troublesome in the meta. You have Orgoth who have kind of rediscovered themselves with the Garogast. And still trying to find an off list. It's very evident that the off list in the Sea Raiders is not settled on and is not in a great spot meta-wise. Huruska's again honing that faction. Storm Legion is in a very interesting spot. I think the drop-off we expected for Storm Legion hasn't fully happened yet. I don't think a lot of folks have fully transitioned over to them or from them to Gravediggers. And I don't know that a lot of folks are going to end up fully transitioning over in the way that I initially had thought. I think Storm Legion maintaining not only play numbers, but winning percentage is pretty interesting across the board here. Shadowflame Shard, you can definitely tell that the Trichimerics was exactly what the doctor ordered. Between that and the starter box with the Nocturnes, that has very much invigorated the faction's win rate um, in ways that I was not expecting. I was expecting a bump. I was not expecting this much of a bump. So it is very interesting. And then folks have definitely gotten the reps that they've been needing on Necrofactorium, and they're reaping the benefit of it. Additionally, reaping the benefit of having one of the best caster releases of the entire year. Kythos is definitely lifting the play and win rates of Necrofactorium in a way that one would expect when you look at him as a caster in total. Um, it definitely is meta shaping and is meta defining for Necrofactorium. And I think what you'll start to see is folks will start tooling more against it and learn how to fight it. Because I think it's easier to play than it is to fight in a lot of cases. But once you have an understanding of what it does, how it works, and how to utilize your faction tools to overcome it, I think you'll start to see that inevitable meta correction that will occur. So I think there's the meta is definitely in an interesting shift point for where it was previously. I mean, the last few that I talked about, the last few events, Crix has started to do very well, but the events prior to that, they hadn't. There was definitely the feel and understanding that Crix was missing some things, and I think Kythos has added a lot of sort of what was missing to Necrofactorium to feel a bit more complete, have a anchor caster to kind of build a pairing around. And I think the reps that you need in that faction, which is very much power level expressed on the table, more so than power level expressed explicitly in the rules, is definitely starting to shine through. And this is a point that I want to bring up in the larger context of the cast. Is power level of a faction is a combination of its rules and how those rules interact in on-table situations. One of the things I think that Mark IV sort of exacerbates is that there are a lot of models that play significantly better than their rules read, and there are a lot of models in Mark IV that play significantly worse than their rules read. Because these rules do not exist in a vacuum. These rules exist in an interactive environment with terrain and objectives and an opponent who also has rules, terrain, and objectives that they have to deal with. And it creates instances where the power of a model may be difficult to gauge when just reading the rules or just looking at baseline numbers and doing some baseline number crunching. There is a lot of factors that go into the power level and evaluation of lists, and the power level and evaluation of individual models in the context of scenario and terrain density. All of these little nuance factors that can greatly influence how well a faction performs, how well a model performs, how well a faction or model is perceived, and the conditions for a model to be excellent may come up more often in a game than not, even if those models' rules may seem less significant than they are, or seem more significant than they actually turn out to be, because of how this sort of works on the table. And the example that I want to give folks is I have been playing a lot of Shadowflame Shard recently, and a model that I was very much opposed to paying the points for was the Vipex with the Viper head, the Hunter's Mark tail, and the Impalers. It's a 15-point Vipex. It's about as expensive as you can make a Vipex. And it absolutely is a workhorse in the list that I have been putting it in. It does a ton of on-field bits beyond just being a Hunter's Mark bot, and fills a role and fills multiple roles in a way that the cheaper 10-point version never could for me, even with an additional 5-point solo. So it has really gotten me thinking about the game a little differently in terms of my general evaluation model, because for a very long time I was looking at it and going, objectively, this should not be 5 points better than um, the other style Vipex, or 3 points better than a 12-point Vipex, and yet it is, because of small bits like being armor 17. Being armor 17 compared to armor 16 may seem very insignificant. When you get into the dice curves, it actually matters a lot for the survivability of the Vipex. The ARM 17 Vipex survives far more often than the ARM 16. And again, it comes down to, if it's taking POW 12s, you're dice off 5 as compared to being dice off 4. Meaning, even on the sub-average rolls, you're taking greater damage when you're ARM 16 than you're ARM 17. Which again, doesn't seem like a lot, but over the course of a game, having a Vipex survive on 1 or 2 boxes and then being able to heal it back up is significant, because it just takes 1 or 2 Fury to then have a fully functional Vipex with sidestep. Again, a rule that really only matters when it's on the table. You can conceptualize it a little bit, but the fact that you have 3 initials between the head and the 2 arms to go an additional 6 inches with this model in threatening is huge. It's absolutely massive, both to either protect the model or to dig deeper or to get to a caster that they weren't expecting. It does so much for the additional amount of points that doesn't show up on the screen. Also, being Mat 7 as opposed to Max 6, huge amount of work differential. Huge amount of work differential. Needing 6s is so much better than needing 7s. Needing 7s is so much better than needing 8s. Needing 5s is so much better than needing 6s. The additional point of Mat is huge, absolutely massive, to the effectiveness of this piece in the game overall. And just a bit to consider when you're looking at it and evaluating how these things play on the field. Another beast that has been absolutely ridiculous for me has been the Hydrix I've been running with the Toothy Maw, the 2 blockheads, and the wings. Having just an ARM 20 highly mobile platform that is Mat 7 with 3 initials, a shield guard, and beatback on 2 attacks base, huge. It just does great things in scenario. If I can't kill something, I can just knock it out of the way, make it very annoying. It's a pretty annoying piece to remove at ARM 20 base with regeneration. It's a good little war beast that just does a lot of things in my lists. And again, flight, underrated ability, comes up more and more within the game. as you play through it and as you play through the army. It's very interesting and nuanced how you can look at these pieces completely differently as you start to get them onto the table in common game situations. As these common game situations come up, you start to see the value of the kit that you're putting on these models more and more, and understanding sort of what you could get for the points reduction, or what you could get for spending just a little bit more. Uh, and that is really when it becomes eye-opening and interesting. I think we're in a very good spot meta-wise, where I think there's a lot of room for experimentation and a lot of factions right now. And I think a lot of times when we're dojoing, we may get caught up in the rules too much and not enough in how those rules actually matter in situations and in the game situations that come up frequently. So I challenge you this week to take a look at your lists, get those lists onto the table, and really start evaluating the rules on your cards that are coming up most often, and the rules that you wish you had in situations that you don't currently. And I want you to start thinking about how you're going to deal with def skews, because def skews are definitely part of the meta overall. One note I had not touched on in the overall rankings was the fourth best army was Infernals. 33 games played, 21 up, 12 down, 64% win rate in this shindig, with Zadaroth having 14 plays, 9 up, 5 down, 64% win rate. Omidamos, 7 games played, 6 up, 1 down, 86% win rate. And Agathon, 5 games played, 1 up, 4 down. So Zadaroth definitely getting the yeoman's amount of work, unsurprisingly, with an exceptional feat. Defensive skews, definitely the name of the game right now. Def and armor, you've got to be able to get through them, and you have to be able to find ways to crack them. And building your list with these kind of archetypes in mind, definitely something that's very important. I think that also these def skews are directly related to Dusk getting defanged a bit in the January update. This particular packet not being exceptionally great for Dusk, because it's forcing more Jacks and Beasts, and the Eidolons and Ghasts are a point sink for the army in a lot of ways. I think you can build some very interesting Eidolons and Ghasts, but they are very expensive. They do reduce some of the army's effectiveness on the whole, and you have to build your list to compensate for that. And I think it's one of the things that is driving the Dusk meta in a specific way. Crick's also being very good has some negative implications for Dusk as a whole. I just think it's an army that the matchup is pretty poor in. The matchup with Infernal is also pretty poor for Dusk. Again, anywhere where you're needing hit fixing, just not really what Dusk does. Dusk is very good at hitting hard and getting to you quickly, closing the gap, as another very elite army. It's not great at having to take a lot of attacks, or outputting a lot of attacks, and it's not great at hit fixing whatsoever. So, a bit of a difficult spot there. Again, I think Foulblood is definitely finding his way in the meta. I think he's having an immediate impact for Brian Bloods in a positive manner, which is great to see. And I think Thorga's in trouble. I think Thorga is not where the meta is right now. I think Thorga is getting swallowed up by answers. And so having Foulblood, I think, really helps them quite a bit. Gravediggers are in a cool spot. I think Gravediggers is a skill issue primarily right now, meaning that most folks playing them just don't have the reps that they need to really start exploiting what that faction does well. And there's a lot that faction does well, but there's a lot of nuance to what it does. And when you make a decision in that faction, it affects the other decisions that you could have made, and allows openings in your army to be exploited by an opponent that understands what choices just were taken away from you because you made a decision. They are a fascinating army that I'd like to deep dive more. It won't be in this cast. I'm very much looking forward to Old Umbry. You'll see more Old Umbry stuff off of this channel going forward. Very excited for them on the whole. Really loving where this meta is at the moment, and we're about to see another seismic shift as Gravediggers wraps up getting their tools, getting their toys, and folks start to get more reps with them, and you start to see Old Umbray begin to sneak into the meta as they start to get their first releases, although we still have quite a bit unknown around them. So it's going to be piecemeal for a while, but I look forward to it, and I hope you have a great one. We'll catch you on the next Tyrants on the Field.